Hi, I'm Megan. Welcome to the University Writing Center's video on adapting to writing as a graduate student. If you would like to skip ahead or move backward in this video, use the table of contents located below the video. Closed captioning can be turned on by clicking the CC icon located on the bottom right of the video. This video is specifically for new master's or doctoral students, but may be applicable for others struggling to write in their field. In this video, we will discuss 3 ways to adapt to writing as a graduate student. 1. Building a writing community. 2. Envisioning yourself as a member of your field. And 3. Learning conventions of new genres. Finally, I've included 2 examples of common academic genres and their conventions: conference proposals and conference presentations. Which of these images captures how you feel as a graduate student? Can you think of times you've seen steady growth? What precipitated that? Do you ever feel stuck in a cycle of researching, writing, and revising, unsure if you're moving forward? Is it like you're on the outside looking in, or like you're always a student, but not a true part of the field? Probably you've felt all of these things as you write. I definitely have. When I began my master's degree, I realized that the strategies I used as an undergraduate didn't work anymore. I felt like everyone else knew what they were doing, and I was still learning the basics of my discipline. Even now, at the end of my doctoral program, I have periods of fluid writing, followed by stretches where I wonder if I'm really doing it right. While the fear of faking it hasn't entirely gone away, I have learned that a lot of writers deal with that fear. Across disciplines, the struggles with writing at a new level or in a new genre are often the same, so the process for learning new writing strategies looks similar too. What we're discussing here essentially is a shift in how you think about your position within your discipline. As an undergraduate, your focus was on gaining knowledge, and you wrote to prove what you knew. As a future academic researcher, you will write in order to add new knowledge to your field. As a graduate student, you're somewhere between these two positions. You're still gaining knowledge, albeit more specific to your field, but you're starting to position yourself as a peer in a scholarly conversation. This shift in authorial position should make a difference in how you approach writing. As a graduate student, you're beginning to practice the kinds of moves you'll make in a career as an academic writer. What follows then are 3 clear ways to ease the process of adapting as you shift from student to academic peer. One way to adapt writing strategies in graduate school is to take intentional steps to form a writing community. Research shows that writing alongside others leads to happier, more productive writers. Yes, it's a hard habit to create, but it's worth the effort. Make a habit of writing and talking about writing with other graduate students in your field and across disciplines. Share writing and life through group texts and messaging apps, Facebook groups, and file sharing. Send people your writing and commit to reading theirs. Schedule face-to-face social meetups as a program or graduate cohort. Doing life together makes a lot of things easier. Develop a mentor program if one is not already in place to help new graduate students adjust. Attend the Writing Center's graduate student writing group regularly or semi-regularly to create a writing habit and get feedback from other graduate students. Next, start envisioning yourself as a member of your field. You are part of a specialized discourse community, a group of writers that uses language and has a history of investigating issues in specific ways. Here are some ways to begin seeing yourself as a part of your field. First, begin research projects by looking at how a topic is dealt with in your field instead of looking at the topic in all fields. What pieces of the problem are researchers in your discipline working to solve? What theories and methodologies do they use? How do they define the terms you're using? How do your interests fit with theirs? Second, read scholarship in the journals within your field and/or specialization so that you get to know the current conversations. If you don't know what journals to start with, ask your professors. Finally, use the references you find in those journals to find more sources. What names and ideas do you see being cited over and over? What interesting ideas might you follow to other sources? Part of learning how writers work in your field is paying attention to the conventions of common writing genres, or categories of textual production. Remember how you learned to write research papers or give presentations as an undergraduate? Likely, you saw examples and picked up on the common practices, sometimes without realizing it. You also practiced these genres and implemented feedback. Spending some time reading and listening as a writer in your field, not just as a learner, helps you figure out the expectations of unfamiliar genres. Academic genres center on developing and situating an argument. In developing, you work through the evidence, implications, and complexities of your claim. In situating, you reference the conversation you're joining and clarify your relationship to other scholarship, the gaps you're filling, the reasons the argument needs to be made, etc. Genres are flexible. They have conventions, not hard and fast rules, but they also embody the values of a discourse community. Another reason that seeing yourself as a member of your specific field is so important to your success as a writer. Writing scholar Rebecca Novacek points out that genres are not merely a set of textual conventions, but encompass an entire constellation of associated social relations, goals, identities, ways of knowing, and even knowledge domains. What we write positions us in our field. We take up the goals and identities of our discipline, but we also bring our own goals and identities into our writing. As you practice new genres, your writing style changes, but don't forget that your writing changes the field in small but important ways too. Here are two quick examples of genre conventions that are often new to graduate students: the conference proposal or abstract, and the conference presentation. For each, we'll look at the purpose, audience, goals, and a general outline. Keep in mind that the specifics of these differ based on field, so my goal is to give an example of thinking through new genres, not necessarily to prescribe how to give a presentation in every field. The purpose of writing a conference proposal is to show you have something new and exciting to say at an upcoming conference. Making that claim can be scary for students just entering the field, but a proposal is a brief, clear place to start trying out important academic writing skills, like summing up previous research and making a clear argument related to an issue in your field. The audience for a proposal are reviewers, often experts in the discipline, and their goal in reading a proposal is to try and imagine the presentation you hope to give. Thus, a proposal usually does the following things. It makes clear, brief connections to the conference and discipline's framework. How do your ideas connect to the larger conference theme? What conversations in your discipline are you drawing on and joining with this proposal? It provides your main thesis. What's the argument you hope to make in 15 to 20 minutes of talking? How does it relate to the conversation you're joining? It shows how your argument is new or interesting. A conference proposal is making an argument that you have something worth talking about, so make that clear. It answers, so what? Why is this worth saying? What are the stakes of not thinking about this issue in the terms you've laid out? Who will be affected and how? Proposals are often 2 paragraphs or shorter. As you begin, look for some samples, especially from the conference you're proposing to. Then ask friends and mentors to take a look at your draft. Once you've been accepted to a conference, the next new genre is the presentation. Again, my goal here is to give a clear example of noting a genre's conventions, not a prescription. Expectations for conference presentations vary from discipline to discipline, and even from conference to conference, so talk to mentors and advisors before preparing a presentation. The purpose of a conference presentation across disciplines is to provide and support your argument. In the humanities especially, they also provide a space to ask questions and get feedback on your project. The audience is real people, conference attendees who might be experts, but might just be interested in what you have to say. Research who attends, and tailor your talk based on your findings. An expert needs less background information than a non-expert. A non-academic audience may want greater focus on practical implications rather than theory. Your thoughts will have expanded some between proposing and presenting, and that's okay. But presentations are often organized like proposals, with slight changes. A presentation includes clear, brief situating through connections to previous literature and relevant ideas, a clear central argument and outline for your presentation, and a few main points that show the importance of the argument. Finally, different from proposals, presentations may end with the need for further work or propose lingering questions to keep the conversation going. Once again, a conference presentation is shorter than you might think. It's usually between 15 and 25 minutes of talking, so an 8-page paper is just about right. Because you're presenting with others to a live audience, it's important not to go over time. For more information on common graduate writing genres, such as lit reviews, annotated bibliographies, and abstracts, take a look at the Writing Center's videos and handouts on our resources page. In this slideshow, we talked about 3 concrete ways to adjust to the new expectations of graduate student writing. 1. Build a community of other grad students and mentors, people you can share your writing and life with during what's often a stressful time. 2. Consider yourself a member of your field, not just a student, by paying attention to how your field does work and positioning yourself as a participant. 3. Learn the conventions of new genres, paying attention to how knowledge is shared, with whom, and for what purpose. We then looked at 2 examples of common academic genres, the abstract and the conference presentation, especially as they function in the humanities, to chart common conventions or patterns. Need more resources? The University of Louisville Writing Center has several resources for graduate students, no matter how comfortable you feel with writing. Links to all of our resources are in the description section below. Our graduate and faculty writing group meets for 2 hours once a week and includes goal setting, low-stakes accountability practices, and silent writing time. Our writing centers on the Belknap and Health Sciences campuses meet with U of L writers working on any writing task at any stage of the process. Make an appointment today. You can download any of our handouts. We especially recommend handouts on the genres of writing and writing strategies, as they lay out conventions in several specific genres and give tips for planning long writing projects, incorporating feedback, and more. Finally, if you're working on your prospectus or dissertation, the Writing Center hosts a dissertation writing retreat every spring. See our website for more details. Happy writing!